In order to tell you the story of Al Saliby family, we'll have to travel back in time into the ancient city called Laconia and start in Sparta. The history of Prince Petronious Amiries, son of Polithictos, son of Hippocrates, of the Tibbanous family which ruled in Sparta during that time. Amiries was born on a warship while his mother Aghrist, with his uncle Emofaratis, fled from Sparta after his father's death and headed to the safe shores of the Phoenician city of Byblos. After Polithictos, Amiries' father's death, the throne was taken by Damasous and followed by Aristhomakhus, and ended with Battiaas, who was the last of the Spartan Kings and the reason of the Tibbanous family fall from grace, ending their rule that had lasted for 6 centuries. During this time, Athens was reconstructed and built to the most beautiful city of its time, while Sparta was on its way to destruction, divided by factions fighting each other until the Roman Empire took over and ruled Sparta. Hippocrates, Polithictos' father, Amiries' grandfather, had 2 sons, Polithictos and Emofaratis. When Polithictos became of age, he was married to Aghrist, the granddaughter of King of Athens, and the great-granddaughter of Ptolemy, king of Acca and Egypt, who died in 40 AD. Though the jealousy and treachery of the kings of Acca and Athens, Polithictos was killed and Aghrist became a widow while she was with a child. At that time, the Spartans recognized their inability of fighting both kings, Athens and Egypt. So they remained quiet and discovered that Ptolemy, king of Acca, did this because of his hate to Spartans who lived in Syria, as they were against him, and he was unable to subjugate them to his rule. Moreover, they knew that both kings had agreed to kill the infant if the child was a boy. Aghrist, the widow of Polithictos, learning of this and begging her brother-in-law Emofaratis to provide safe passage to her and her unborn child, preparation was made and she sailed to the famous Phoenician city of Byblos, where her son Amiries was born. After this, they sailed to the island of Awad, opposite to the city of Tartus. They remained there until peace was established with the great-grandfather of the newborn, and Amiries was carried back to Sparta, where he and his mother were received with honors. When Petronious Amiries was 16 years old, he was sent to Rome, where he received military education and became one of the outstanding heroes of the kingdom. When Tiberius heard of his bravery, he called him and appointed the young hero commander general over the Roman army. Not long after this, Tiberius died in March 16, and Caligula ascended to the throne the same year as Caesar of Rome. Caligula, the new Caesar, admired Amiries, and both agreed to destroy the Christians in the Roman Empire because of their rapid growth and for the fear of their endangering the position of the empire. Although Amiries strongly opposed the new religion, his mother was a devoted Christian. She was baptized in the year 38 by a disciple of St. Peter's without knowledge of her son Amiries. At that time, the Romans built a large city in Judea and had named it Caesarea, and it was inhabited by pagan Greeks and Syrians. During the year 66 AD, Amiries was ordered by Caligula, the Caesar, to prepare his army and march on to destroy the uprising Christian faith. Amiries continued his march eastward, passing between two mountains, Olympus and Ossavia in Greece. Here the general ordered his army to stop and rest for the night. While the army was preparing to rest for the night, Amiries went on a quick hunt to explore the area. Soon he saw a deer walking before him. He followed the deer, thinking it's a good hunt before the night falls. While he kept walking, a knight appeared before him riding a white horse. The knight was dressed in white Byzantine clothing, and he was carrying a long lance on his left shoulder. Above his head, in clear letters, were these words: "Antioch and its mother Jerusalem shall rejoice, and Rome shall surrender. Your seed will be servant in the house of my Lord. I ask you thee to retreat, and to do no harm to the Christians. By this only will you be safe." After Petronious Amiries saw and heard this, he returned troubled and in deep thought to his tent. During the night, and while in a deep sleep, he heard his name called. "Awake and listen to what I'm saying, and answer my questions. I am the Lord of the people whom you are going to destroy. Arise and follow the way of your mother, whose prayers have saved you." Amiries was greatly moved by this vision, and he did according to the commands which he had received. He was baptized by the disciple of St. Peter's and converted to Christianity. This event took place in the second week of the month of April in 67 AD. Petronious Amiries sold all his property, gave the command of the army, and left to see his mother to tell her the good news. Later, all his family were converted and baptized, and many followed him as well. This continued for a long time, and Christianity began to spread and grow. In the meantime, Amiries wrote to his brother-in-law, who was the commander-in-chief of the Roman army, and told him what happened and his conversion to Christianity, which soon that commander was converted, and the next night his wife and family became all Christians. Caesar was informed of this news and ordered that commander and his family to be burned. Sent a unit of his guard to arrest Amiries and bring him back to Rome. Amiries resisted and fought them with his few men and routed them back. Another 5,000 soldiers were sent this time. They marched to Huran, attacked the city and killed hundreds and burned the churches. At that time Amiries was on a visit to an Arabian prince with all his men. When the news of that atrocity reached him, he at once marched back with his men and about 150 Arabian warriors with him to the field. When Amiries reached his city and discovered the situation, he inquired the direction in which the enemy had gone. Without stopping his pursued the enemy swiftly with his men until they entered the city of Shakim. Amiries knew that his mother was among the captives, and after a long fight they managed to free the captives, and he wrote a letter to Caligula, the Caesar, assuring his loyalty to the throne of Rome even though he had become a Christian. Skirmishes and attack continued against Christianity until Constantine the Great declared Christianity the official religion of the empire in 326 AD. In 117 AD, Petronious Amiries, our great forefather in Christianity, died in the city of Al-Basir at the age of 102 years, 52 of which he lived as a pagan and 50 years as a Christian. 1 year after his death, his mother Aghrist died, leaving many churches and multitude of Christians who mourned her passing. Dionysius, the second son of Amiries, succeeded his father as the leader of the clan, and Dionysius' son Nicolaus after him, and his son Algoth. Algoth won many victories for his people, and he was called Al Saliby by an Arabian prince for his heroic defense and protection for his Christian faith. In the year 180 AD, Commandus became Caesar of Rome, and because of his personal animosity, the Salibis lost all their titles by his order, which had been acknowledged and confirmed by Alexander the Great himself. And since then, the migration to Mount Lebanon had started, which is where you will find the Al Salibis, Saliby and Saliba family to this day.